Honda EU2000i, runs but no 120V power.
I'll do all I can to help. How long have you been dealing with this?
Today.
Do you plan on doing the work yourself?
Yes.
Anything else we should know to help you best?
I've owned since new, no other problems.
Okay. Got it. I'm sending you to a secure page on JustAnswer so you can place the $5 fully refundable deposit now. While you're filling out that form, I'll tell the small engine technician about your situation and then connect you to.
The first thing you need to do is to use the voltmeter and check for voltage at the AC receptacle. If you have 120 volts here, the problem is not in the genset, but in whatever you are trying to power with the genset. If you do not have 120 volts, test the circuit breaker on the panel. Make sure it is pushed all the way in. If it is not the circuit breaker, the problem will most likely be a loose wire, either at the back of the circuit breaker or the receptacle. You would need to open the setup and check all the wiring. If you do not find any loose/damaged wiring, use the voltmeter to check for 120 volts at the input side of the breaker, the red wire, then the output side of the breaker, then to the receptacle, until you find where the breakdown is at. This set produces an AC current, which is fed to an inverter. There, it is rectified to a DC current, and then inverted back to AC again. The hot wire, red, comes from the inverter and goes to the circuit breaker. The neutral, white, comes from the receptacle, back to the inverter. If you have the red wire disconnected from the breaker and the white wire disconnected from the receptacle, but have no power on these wires, locate the 3-prong connector at the inverter that has the wires coming from the stator, colored red, white and blue. With the set running, test for AC voltage from red to white, then blue to white. What voltage do you get here? Most likely your issue is a bad inverter, but you can go through the above to make sure. It could be just a simple wire issue, as we will hope for the best. Please let me know what you find and we can go from there.
Okay, we'll CK out after work today.
No problem. I will wait to hear from you.
Okay, getting 10V at receptacle, circuit breaker continuity test good.
Only 10 volts at receptacle. Did you check for any loose wires on back of receptacle?
Also, I don't see a 3-wire plug on back of inverter, but a 4-wire with WHT, red, blue, and yellow. Don't see any loose wires anywhere.
If you do not find any loose/damaged wiring, use the voltmeter to check for 120 volts at the input side of the breaker, the red wire, then the output side of the breaker, then to the receptacle, until you find where the breakdown is at.
I do not get 120V on back side of breaker.
Sounds like your issue is a bad inverter.
How do I test the inverter? I want to find what's bad here, not just throw parts at it. I also want to find out if rectifier is bad.
The rectifier is tested in the following manner. 1. Disconnect all leads from rectifier. 2. Connect the red ohm meter lead to the positive DC, plus, terminal. 3. Connect the black lead to each of the AC terminals in turn. Either a high or low resistance reading will be obtained. 4. Reverse the meter leads, black lead to the DC POS, plus, and red lead to the AC terminals, each in turn. An opposite reading should be observed. 5. Connect the red ohmmeter lead to the negative DC terminal. 6. Connect the black lead to each of the AC terminals in turn. Either a high or low resistance reading will be obtained. 7. Reverse the meter leads, black lead to the DC neg, and red lead to the AC terminals, each in turn. An opposite reading should be observed. 8. Check each terminal to the case. An open circuit, very high resistance, reading should be observed. 9. If the rectifier fails any of the above tests, it should be considered defective and replaced.
You also mentioned the wires coming from the stator to the inverter. I believe I got a reading of about 0.4 volts. What should that reading be? Should.
If you have a home improvement or appliance question and want to chat with an expert now, visit justanswer.com/ythi.